This video contains spoilers for Danganronpa 3 Killing Harmony. If you haven't seen the entirety of the game, then I highly suggest not watching this video and whining about it in the comments! Danganronpa 3 Killing Harmony Roasts by Michaela Laws and Brian Bibiano. No character is safe, your favorites will be roasted. Kaede Akamatsu. Wow, can you imagine a mainline Danganronpa story with a female as the protagonist? The writer certainly couldn't, which makes you the most disappointing character in all of Danganronpa. It's not your fault. Oh wait, it is, because you elected to be part of the game within the game in the first place, knowing you could die. Stupid choice, stupid result. Shuichi Saihara. Another disappointing protagonist for Danganronpa that is reduced to tears and predictable hero speeches every time Monokuma kicks him in the pinky toe. The fact you were supposed to be Kaede's replacement didn't help your case. Also, Ultimate Detective? Wow, we certainly haven't heard that one before! Kaito Momota. Gurren Lagann called, they want Kaele, Bear, and Kamina back. Did you really think you could swing the believe in me that believes in you shtick in without anyone noticing? Strike for unoriginality. Add that onto the fact that your illness was the only thing that helped you escape a repeated punishment from earlier in the series, and you've got yourself an OC you can find on DeviantArt with the tag Do Not Steal. Maki Harukawa. Hello, reskinned Peko Peko Yama. Good to see you alive and well. Glad to see you evolve from being a slave to a Yakuza baby to being a yandere with no direction where to swing your weapons and no balls to actually go through your revenge despite your threatening mouth. I get that Kamina 2.0 gives your knees the shivers, but you expect me to believe that at no point did you have any chance to at least detach Kokichi's legs from his waist? Please. Himiko Yumeno. As an avid Sonic fan, Brian would like to recognize that you are passionate about your special interests, and that is something to be respected. That said, can you please shut the fuck up? Your very existence brings down the mood of every room you walk into. If you're going to brag about magic, show it off. You should just be the ultimate Debbie Downer with how monotonous your excuses and dronings are. Kibo. Another only powerful at the very end cliche, with a twist of being I speak for the fake audience, as if it was meant to make you interesting. You are only enticing to one person in this entire game, and that person literally assaulted you the second she was able to lure you into her lab. Otherwise, you are as replaceable as every other Danganronpa protagonist with how forgettable you are. Rantaro Amami. How does it feel to be the character with the least amount of screen time in the entire franchise, considered to be a major part of the series? You were built up to be such a big deal, yet we only gave a shit about you when we got more than halfway through the game. The worst part? We learned more about you after you died, and only because of a fluke murder. Slow clap for simply existing. Ryoma Hoshi. You are literally the Steve Buscemi 30 Rock meme. Short, absolutely over 30 years old, despite the game saying otherwise. Grumpy as sin, and only existed to be an easy target for one of the murders needed to progress the story. Your skill was barely explored, yet we can claim we have seen you inside and out to the fullest degree. Kirumi Tojo. Hello, 2B, without the 328 pounds of metal assisting you as a short-haired, obedient servant to a government force. Though, I do have to question if there is any other difference, as both of you managed to die rather pathetic deaths at the hands of people with more emotional depth than you. All we're missing are the short kings you have to kill. Oh wait, you both got that down on lock too! Never mind. Anji Yonaga. Religiously motivated or not, a cult is a cult. You were clearly on the path to making a special Mana Kool-Aid, so it was clear as to why you deserve nothing but blatant indifference from anyone with a brain cell capable of seeing reason. Even anime girls need to be held accountable when they claim to see God and speak for them as a mortal vessel. The last time someone did that, it did not go well for them. Tenko Chabashira. There's protecting women, then there's being just as bad as men on the opposite end of the battle against misogyny. You are the picture-perfect example of misandry and how it can actually exist in society when women go to the extreme against men. If we literally removed that personality flaw, you'd actually be a tolerable character. Alas, we must suffer your anime-charged bullshit until you give another character a reason not to choke on their own spit before you prove how frail you really are. Korekiyo Shinguji. Why do we need creepy people in every Danganronpa? You literally give off bad vibes the entire game with your stance and speech, and unless someone actually spends time with you to learn the full depth of your backstory and trauma, you wind up grossing out every player to ever grace V3 when you reveal your reasons why you committed double murder. Do not be surprised when barely anyone gives you the pity you deserve. You could have prevented it with therapy. Miu Iruma. We need a sexual deviant in every Danganronpa game, so it was decided that a woman would take that position this time. Congrats for being what Japan thinks American women are like when we don't have a man punching us in the throat for not having dinner ready by the time he gets home. How does it feel being the face of every brat on TikTok who thinks they can handle an actual dom, but really loves being spit on instead? Leave the robot alone! Gonta Gokuhara. Yes, my son, I must roast you as well, for you should not believably have the IQ of a caveman while understanding the scientific needs of bugs. You bungad when you should have ungad, and it became a downfall you could have avoided. Even after your fatal mistake, you still decided to trust the worst character in the game who has not ever proven himself to be trustworthy, and that, my son, is why I cannot leave you unscathed. Kokichi Oma. You are the reason Brian cannot stand liars. No amount of bullshit will get you through life. Eventually, you will slip up. Everyone does in the end. Just like your death, your personality, your efforts to save anyone, and your motivations were completely flat. Good riddance, and may humanity realize just how truly pathetic you were as a character, especially when you are a half-baked character concept in the game within the game. The Monokubs. Unnecessary and unwanted in every aspect possible. We already had the incest trope with Korekiyo. Just give us Monokuma and the world could actually spin a little better around the sun. Tsumugi Shirogane. You were the most uninteresting twist villain ever to be created. You could have done so much with your abilities, yet you fell short at every opportunity. Your existence can be described like how you use Junko in every iteration of Danganronpa as a villain. Boring, predictable, and downright disappointing until the very end.